Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3. Oh, Mondo. Silly, silly man. One moment. Hmm. Okay, cool. You can hear music because I don't think I have it playing. That's crazy. You might want to get your ears checked. So I'm sorry I'm running a little late. I had a problem with my stream computer. Basically, none of the hardware pieces were like showing up in the stream software, like my camera, my mic. So I had to restart the software right before the stream, so I was just like a minute late. Right? I know, it's frustrating though. I usually like being exactly on time, so I'm sorry about that. Or a little early if possible. But basically, I I don't know why, but once in a while the stream computer just needs a kick in the pants. You know what I mean? Anyway, let's flip over to the main screen, see if the camera's working. So you can see the reason you all showed up. This handsome mug. Shaved my head yesterday. Right? I gotta give it the Arthur Fonzarelli. The little percussive maintenance, if you will. Okay, let me make sure all the stream feeds are working. We've got Twitch, we've got Facebook. I'm not seeing a YouTube chat yet. Can you say something on YouTube, Atlam? The TikTok feed just loaded for me, so I'm refreshing that. Not seeing Steam yet. Oh, they did? Congrats. That's awesome. Hey, I mean, that's the kind of the whole point, is to get to the point where they can slay a dragon, right? Like in Dungeons and Dragons, that seems like the penultimate like boss. YouTube's looking good, and I'm on Steam now, so we good across the board. Thank you very much. Right? Honestly, like the first like couple years I played D&D, I barely saw any dungeons or dragons, which was kind of frustrating. But the thing is, Mondu, the dragons can just get tougher from here, right? Welcome back, BB. I just realized you do not have my headphones. Those bad boys on. Garp. Okay. But now I don't hear the music, and I know it. Got it. That worked. So yesterday, I was realizing that my head was taller than the rest of my hair. So I decided to shave it all, trim it all. Oh, so if you had used the legendary resistance, the fight would have gone longer? See, I'm not bald. I'm just, my head's taller than my hair. Welcome back, one and all, to the weekly stream we like to call Mapmaker Monday. Every Monday, your favorite work day of the week, I'm sure, I host a stream where we build a map live. We picked this theme about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and we've been working on it every Monday for about a half hour. During Mapmaker Monday, the stream is AMA format, which means ask me anything, as long as it's Dungeon Alchemist related, of course. And I will stop the stream and answer your questions and provide real-time support, guidance, or collect your feedback and suggestions to pass on to the devs. So throughout the stream, if you have any need for support, questions, inquiries about our next update, etc., let me know, and I will do my best to provide assistance. Now, back to the map at hand. This map is a massive ancient cemetery complex. We're just about, I'd say about 2/3 the way done. The map is 82 by 82. And it is quite extensive. We've been working on it little bits, like I said, weekly. The part we're working on right now is filling out what I call the martyr plots. They're essentially people who worked for this clergy. So whoever served the deity, whether it was a monk or a paladin or a cleric or, some kind of priest or, nun, something like that, they're buried in this plot here. And obviously it's an ancient cemetery, so there's quite a few plots, right? People are like, man, a lot of people have died. And I was like, well, I mean, there's lots of adventurers over the years. Wars, things happen, Anyway, we plan to expand to have lots more plots in this corner here. Over here. And in this corner here will be the caretaker's cottage and garden. You mean the pizza you suggested? Oh, the pizza garden? Yeah, that's not really a pizza, but it is kind of, if not pizza, why pizza shaped? Hey, Lemuel, how you doing? So throughout today's stream, we'll be focusing on this build. But again, if you have any questions, concerns, feedback, suggestions, let me know, and I will do my best to provide you assistance. So welcome back, one and all, damn fam. I hope you are ready for some map making, and I would hope that it helps you kind of kick off your work week with some interesting, thought-provoking mapceptions. So far, so good. To be honest, I'm pretty excited. Few things kind of lined up and are really going well. For starters, my next game is in 6 days. So we'll be playing some D&D very soon. And in addition to that, we're getting very close to the next update. Every day is just inching closer to it. Also, this holiday was probably one of the least stressful and most fun holidays I've had with my family in a while, where it just didn't feel like money was an issue. And that was like a gift in itself, you know what I mean? So that was nice. I actually, we got some gift cards from family, and we used that stuff to buy things just right after the holiday, and a lot of that stuff showed up in the last couple of days, and that's been kind of nice too, so it was almost like a second holiday. But overall, it was just really relaxing, had fun. We got to hang out with some friends and, got to spend time on the phone with family and friends, that we don't get to talk too often. And, leading into the new year, it was nice to be able to do that. You know what I mean? The other thing that I've really enjoyed so far this new year is kind of I've been on the hunt for a piece of, I guess, what I would call lost media at this point. And it's been very invigorating to kind of search for it constantly in my spare time. So I've been on the hunt for season 7 of Venture Brothers on Blu-ray in Region A, which I guess like is like a unicorn box set because there was only a small amount of them printed. That pavement, all of these ones, yes, they're on the workshop, but these are just stone columns that I sunk into the ground. I just disabled collisions and popped that down into the ground. So it's basically kind of a few different things. These little wall pieces, those are little pavers. They're like wall pieces sunk into the ground. This here, again, like a bollard sunk into the ground. All of these things, I just kind of lowered them to make them more practical in this use. Is it a US-based company? I'll check them out. Honestly, I'm on the lookout for like older shops that are kind of like holdouts before like big box stores got big and before the internet kind of took over everything. Ma and pop shops or small chains, things like that, that maybe buy, sell, trade DVDs, movies, records, books, stuff like that. But I've been like deep cuts into many different states and even other countries. I've called Zia Records in multiple states. I've called ma and pop shops, bookshops. Like I've been all over, eBay, Mercari, like all sorts of third-party resellers. Like I can find it on DVD, but I can't find it on Blu-ray. It's driving me insane a little bit. I'm okay. Anyway. So I'll check that out. Movie Trading Company. I'm not familiar with that brand, so I definitely want to see what they're about. I've been searching on Facebook Marketplace. I wouldn't even mind it used at this point. I just want to get a hold of a copy. Okay, so I'm thinking, what do we do next here? Kind of thinking out loud, maybe so I can get some feedback. I want to fence off the backs of these mausoleums, right? So they kind of feel like a whole piece. Got it. And then I'll just kind of string it along this side, and then I'll move the fence posts to fit. That just needs to be here. Yeah. Make it. So how was everyone's weekend? What were you all up to? Do anything cool, interesting, fun? Did you have any sessions this weekend? If you did, let's hear about them. Or did you just kind of prep for your next session? I'll definitely check them out. Dude, I was like calling people in like Vancouver, Toronto. I've been calling all sorts of places. Okay, so the monk missed 4 attacks in a row with advantage. How is that even possible? I'm assuming the dragon's AC was just too much for the monk. If anything, he's extremely consistent. Yes. Yeah, Dyson. It is gonna take a lot. It's one of the biggest maps ever. Okay, so find weird artifacts suggestion. Fan convention community pages. What do you mean, Traveler Chimeru? Hey, Milo, how you doing? Please elaborate on that, Chimeru. I'd love to hear it. BB Stalker, I'm in limbo right now. One of my players had a surgery, so we're on a 6-week hiatus until she recovers. Well, I hope that she has a swift and, speedy recovery. I'm sorry that your game is on hiatus, but I'm sure, that I'm sure you're using the time diligently to put together all sorts of new maps and content, right? Right? Nice, Dyson. That's cool. And how many levels are there again, Dyson? 23. Oh my gosh. You're just getting started. Oh, okay. Chim. Sorry, Traveler Chim. My bad. Fan convention community pages. Please elaborate. Oh, TikTok. Thank you for the likes. Much appreciated. Okay. What am I going to do with this space? Got to think about it here. I'm thinking graves lining these, because then I could just put like a road or like a walkway. Okay, cons have a fan community page. Got it. Continue. Fresh graves here, and then I think I'll have a path going this way. So just kind of put it like right there. Like this. Chim, I'm so lost. I'm sorry. I'm really trying to follow this here. Oh, you mean checking for... Gotcha. I get you now. Totally understand now. I get it. That's a good suggestion, yeah. No, I get it. That makes sense. I didn't think of that as a space to look for stuff, so thank you for the suggestion. Hmm. We could just make it like part of it. Cool, we made a new gravestone. I don't really like using tons of crosses, but we don't have a ton of choices when it comes to grave markers. I gotta kind of spread them out between the variables of options I have at my disposal. I am wonderful, Disturbed Rick. How are you? Okay, made a custom new grave. I like it. I always enjoy when I come up with something different than what's available. Open grave ones here for this last plot. It's down a little bit. Okay, so now we got this row kind of sorted. Go through and just put in this quick walkway down this route here. Trying to keep it somewhat parallel. Oh yeah. Turn on the grid, I'd probably be able to see a lot more, but my grid's super transparent. Hey, I'm like right on a line. That should be really easy to follow. Okay, so what we'll do, raise these up. Just a skosh. Fixed. Oh my gosh, right, Disturbed Rick? Well, I'm glad they loved the maps and had fun, and I'm glad that it was an overwhelming success, even though, you know, despite your best efforts to give them some guardrails, they always seem to bounce outside of them, right? And why not? Why shouldn't I? So what I was thinking is if I turn, I could do like several walkways, maybe one here and have some graves going like this. It's an interesting idea, Tim. Hey, welcome back, by the way. So Tim over on YouTube says, hey, Mac, this is looking great. I've been away a while. The progress looks impressive. One thing I added to a graveyard I created was a child memorial section for the young due to a plague. That is a good idea. Right now, we're focused on kind of the saints and like martyrs of the particular church right here, the cathedral. So most of them would be older, elderly, you know, people of adult age, not necessarily youth. But I do like that idea. And as we progress over here, we'll likely have children's graves mixed in with the pauper graves and the terraced, like, fancy graves before we finish up. And in this main section here, we actually had children's graves mixed in. Some even, like, right next to their parents. You know what I mean? So, what's crazy about my journey to locate a copy of Season 7 Venture Brothers on Blu-ray is the show released... Well, the show aired in 2018, and the Blu-ray box set released in 2019. So it's not even, 6 years old, and it's just, like, impossible to find. And I think that's kind of crazy and like a reflection of how physical media will be going forward, and even less and less and more difficult to locate. Older physical media, there'll be a pocket between, like, say, the end of the 80s and the early 2000s where a lot of that had tons of prints and will be available, and be sold as used for a while. But stuff that's really, really old, or stuff that's really, like, just at the edge of DVD and Blu-ray stuff, it's going to be super hard to find going forward. Like stuff from the last 6 to 10 years, or even maybe 15 years. Blows my mind. Okay, so I'm thinking to finish this off, I'll do some graves, like going like roads maybe like this, and I might be able to put a statue or something here, and maybe some more garden. I don't know, we'll figure it out. They killed Maria Carrion Crawler instead of helping her? Oh no. Well, hey, as long as y'all had fun, that's all that matters, right? Let's put another one of these. Columbarium right there. Just kind of put them anywhere there's like not a perfect space available. Help a little bit. And then turn that grid on, and I'm thinking we'll follow this walkway here. Kind of just center it. Thank you for the likes, TikTok. Much appreciated. Doubtful. I've been checking Amazon for it every day. Yeah, when you pick it up, the listing, it says currently unavailable. Yep, there's shortcuts for a lot of things in Dungeon Alchemist, actually. So, the grid can be enabled with Alt-G. And many of the menus will show like hotkeys. Leave full screen, hide UI is Alt Home. So you can hide the user interface, show the grid, Alt-G. Some other aspects of the menu have hotkeys as well. Control-Shift-X activates the object eraser without having to go 3 menus deep. Each of these menus, except for I think the last one, is a hotkey as well. If you just press like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 0 doesn't go anywhere. So effects and overlays don't have a hotkey. And then within them, some of them have hotkeys as well. If you look in the bottom corner here, actually, let me turn on the highlighter. Down in this space here. Off the damn challenge. Oops. So if you look here, in this bottom corner of the object menu, it says Shift to place multiple objects, Control, toggle, snap to grid. So if I'm holding Shift while I'm placing an object, it automatically duplicates it. If I hold Control, it'll toggle the snap points for the object. So I found a lot of sites that have back order for it. But the problem with that, right, is basically back orders aren't necessarily a guaranteed order. In fact, I've ordered through a couple of sites back ordered, and they'll sit for like a back order for a month, and then they failed to deliver it. Rev, trust me, I've searched hundreds of Google pages and DuckDuckGo pages deep. I've been to almost every record store, every bookstore, every like thrift store and media store you could think of on the internet. It's been crazy, but I do appreciate you looking. Hey, Mateus, I actually have several back orders on hold right now. What you been up to, Mateus? So the problem with that, BB, that's impossible for all 7 seasons of Blu-ray to be available because only the last 3 through 7 were on Blu-ray. But yeah, like DVD for the first 2 seasons for sure. But the other thing too is it's a different region, so it won't play in my Blu-ray player. Does that make sense? So region A is the problem. I need that. It will speak, they'll be speaking English, but it'll be like a region B or C where it won't play in my local player. So I could probably rip it, but that's about it. I am doing good, Mateus. How about you? How was your new year? Yeah, it's mostly done. I mean, if you're ripping content... No, it still is. Oh, it's still very much a thing, BB. If you look on the back of your Blu-rays and movies and stuff, it'll say which region it's meant for, though, usually. So, like, the US, North America is region A. Says region A? Awesome. You may have to DM me that link. Thank you. I'll check it out. And look at this. We're like a hive mind over here. Thank you for the help. I even asked on the Venture Brothers subreddit, and then they deleted my post because they said it was suspect to, like, spam and people, like, trying to scam me. So they said they were trying to protect me. Anyway, okay, so I'm thinking graves this way. So it'll be like grave, 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 grave. We could even do mausoleums. I could also leave a couple spots that are, like, not done, kind of like we did over here, like a grave sites that are empty, but could be added in the future. I kind of was, like, irritated that I didn't get to, like, assess the risk myself, but, it is what it is, I understand. But it's just like, if I was trying to ask a large community of people who may have an extra copy to spare for sale or whatever, that would probably be the largest group, you know? It is frustrating. Okay, so let's deck out this columbarium really quick. My new year was great. Thank you for asking, Mateus. I kind of just relaxed. I actually kind of slept through most of it. But we had some yummy food, had some family time, and just enjoyed each other's company and whatnot. I have two pets, a cat and a dog, and they were really stressed out by all the noise, so we had to take care of them in shifts throughout the evening. Because in Vegas, where I live, there was fireworks till like 3 in the morning. Anyway. Put an urn. And then I guess we could put like a charred skull. There. So, in the United States, fireworks are like an integral part of like our major celebrations, and by that I mean the 4th of July, which is Independence Day. They launch fireworks. It's like kind of signifies, I guess, kind of battle to a degree. I don't really understand the need for it, and then also on the New Year, they do that as well. Some cities have started to do like drone shows on the New Year and 4th of July to keep the noise down for their big shows, but people will still go out and buy, fireworks, which they sell tons, legal and illegal. Hey, Swedish cook. Soundless fireworks sound cool. I'll be honest. Oh, that's a good suggestion, BB. Interesting. Like a weapon or something in one of them, like a dagger or a helmet. Ooh, helmet. I like helmets. They're cool in these. Put one like down a bit. Yeah, that sounds like a drone show. Nice, Mateus. I'd love to see it if you feel confident in sharing it when you get a chance, putting it up on the workshop or... So keep in mind, y'all, I will be adding like finishing touches at a later point, like, candles and offerings to the dead, things like that. Throughout it, I put a little bit to kind of satiate people as they've asked, but I will be putting a lot of the fine-tuning stuff near the end. Hey, Wildaria, welcome. Welcome to the stream. My name is Mac. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. It's nice to meet you. And thank you for the kind feedback. I tried the demo of Dungeon Alchemist recently. It was really incredibly successful. I hope everything turns out great for you. Appreciate that. I do want to remind you the demo is only just a small slice of the overall pie. You really only get access to making one room type out of the dozens of room types. You only get the tavern, really, instead of all the rest. And then one biome out of, 12. So it is overall kind of a thin slice of the pie, but if you enjoyed that and had a lot of fun, it ran really well on your system, you'll definitely enjoy the full version, and it'll definitely run similarly. In fact, when you install the demo, I guess it is essentially just kind of a locked out full version, so it's the full install. So it's like 7 gigs or less, which isn't bad at all. Anyway, Aerop. I have a question about the program. There was a situation where I needed a more cartoonish style for my map. Actually, the question is, are there any plans to make the program to something like filters when used could slightly change the globally? I don't think so overall. Um, I don't think we will be adding something like that, but I do know many like image editing programs, and there's like online filters that can essentially turn an image into another style. Um, Obviously you can make things like black and white, or you can make it almost like a sepia tone, and those are simple filters. But there's like blueprint filters that I've seen people do, so they'll just do like blank rooms and change it to a blueprint style, so it looks like a blueprint layout of a building they may go rob or check out or break into. I've seen people do kind of darker filters to make a map look more like it's, maybe in a different like dimension, or like, somewhere entirely different. And then the other things I've seen people do is, again, run them through a filter that might make them more cartoony, or maybe more hand-drawn looking. I would encourage you to, unfortunately, I would say the third-party option is probably going to be the best option and best route for the interim future. And you really don't need a whole lot of skills with photo editing to be able to do this. Though, I mean, there's plenty of free tools that could do it. There's also websites that you can just upload your map and do it in a few clicks. I just don't foresee us offering anything like that in the near future, at least. And I haven't heard the devs talking about adding like export filters that would accommodate to that. Though it could be something, on our roadmap down the road after we leave early access or in a future update. Well, the rev, sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, but it depends on like kind of the mentality of the viewers at the time. Like as you go, some of this is heavily decorated and well done, and other areas not so much. Um, but when it comes to like these graves, I'm mostly just kind of laying out the basic kind of structure, and then I was going to go through and add a lot of minutia and details. Worn out old graves here and there, pits dug here and there, flowers and coins on graves and stuff like that. Now, because this is attached to the cathedral and it's like their grave site, I've really been trying to make this feel very structured and organized. That's part of the reason all the pavers are here and everything is kind of sectioned out and really kind of to a degree well thought. Oh, okay, Rev. I understood you were being sarcastic too. I got the tone in it, but ultimately, I mean, I'm just letting you know why I do it the way I do it. I'm trying to think of what to put here. I need something. I'm thinking like a statue, maybe like one of these types. Let's see if one of those plant ones works. Put it there. That one kind of fits. And that space is still dead. Nope. We'll have to do something custom. Tab. Pretty all pre-configured objects, like, you look at like a table, right? So let's say this table. Every object that is pre-configured, we call these variants internally, right? And if you press tab before you place this object, we usually have a minimum of like 2 to 5 pre-configured versions of this object to kind of shuffle through. This way, when the AI generates a room with multiples of this object, it has some diversity. And I know this can be a point of frustration if you're trying to get them all to be the exact same layout. So essentially, if you press tab before you place the object, before you left click and finalize its location, then it will shuffle between them. You know what? Hey, Atlam, can you drop the wiki link for the hotkeys page for Dungeon Alchemist? So the map is called the Coup Bunker. Interesting. I'll have to check it out. It's on the workshop already? No worries. Honestly, I think we need to add the hotkey wiki one to the shortcuts of the bot, so at least one of them is automated. And this is looking really good. Orton's off that section a bit better. This is why I've missed streams so much. The game has changed. Tree. I'm sorry, you still vote tree? A big dead oak? Interesting. So like right here in this space? I know which one you're talking about, but that's what you want there? Like this? That's huge. Ooh. Too big. I have to shrink it down a little bit. It's like, why would they leave a dead oak in the middle of their, like, you know, kind of like plot for fairy tree? Interesting. So I did put one of these willows over here, and I've been wanting to reuse it, but the problem is the collider on it is insane. I kind of want to re-up. I wish... wait, is this Asmodeus's model? Asmodeus, did you upload this willow, or is this someone else's? What's up, Ricky? Ask away, my friend. So, Mateus, let me hurry and save twice, and then we'll hurry and look up your map. So this is your first map ever? I am so excited to see your first map. Let's check it out. This map represents the bunker from the film The Watchers. It's got some enigmas hiding in it. Use it to run a one-shot adventure based on the film. I've never seen The Watchers. First finished one. Gotcha. You love the pizza pond, Rick? Yeah, me too. Hey, Cosmic, welcome back. Not yet, Ricky. Not easily, at least. The only way is using a trick where you place the objects on an abstract and make it invisible. Because the abstract will act like a big rug that everything's on and you could move them as a solid piece. So if you place down an abstract in the area, like the square, and make it big and invisible, you could place all the objects on top of that and then move them as a solid unit. But that's really the only way right now to group objects, so to speak. In the next update, I'm hoping they address this. It is on the our internal roadmap, but there's some kind of obstacles they need to overcome first. But I will say this: they definitely have a bunch of like object improvements in mind for the next update, and have already added a few features and quality of life improvements to streamline object efficiency and use. I do know that one thing they're talking about, and I've been pushing for this hard, and it is on the main roadmap thing for Fun with Objects, is the ability to make variants. So I just showed you all a minute ago with the tables that are pre-decorated, right? Where, you know, you could have a piece of furniture, counter, table, anything pre-decorated. And as I told you all, we call these variants, right? But the goal is to allow you to create your own variants, meaning you could group objects together. It doesn't have to be on a table. It could just be right next to each other. Save those objects as a variant or a prefab, and then you could stamp them all over the map or even other maps. And the other thing I've been pushing for is that we pair the variant creation to the workshop. Meaning you could group a bunch of objects, create like a stamp, and then save that grouping of objects on the workshop so other people can use it. Now, I'm hoping that that would go hand in hand kind of with what you're saying. It may not be as quick or as efficient, but once you've created that variant, then it'll be easy. Does that make sense? If you press tab before you place the object, so before I finalized its location, pretty much any pre-decorated object like a table or a counter or, you know, stuff like that, if it has stuff on top of it, usually we configured it with a few versions that you can cycle between. That's also what the AI does when it generates a room with these in it. It'll put out, you know, the same table with just different variants of it. Interesting. I like the assets you used here. Ooh. Got some Fallout vibes right here. Got some food. And a generator. Oh, and a gel cell. All right. So this will lead up to another level, I'm assuming, to get out? I mean, technically, if you, let's say you're trying to make a bunch of bookshelves all the same size, right? What you would do is get it to the size and height you want it, right? Let's say I want it sunk down to this first shelf. If I duplicate off of that bookshelf, they'll all be the same height and the same size. So if you're duplicating off of one, then yes, it is possible. And I have the collisions off, so I'm just stacking them on top of each other, and I'm holding shift. So I essentially can duplicate, 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 duplicate. Hotkeys can really speed up your workflow. But essentially, if you want, say, multiple objects roughly the same size, you're going to want to duplicate it off of the Ah, gotcha. But yeah, like I said, Ricky, if you put them all like on an abstract, then you could resize them all as one piece. So you could have, say, a ton of, say, walls. So here's a bunch of ruined walls, right? They all scale in unison this way. Then you could just duplicate off of these pieces and they'll all be the same scale. So if you duplicate off of this one, all the same. If you duplicate off, does that make sense? And ultimately, if you don't want this abstract visible, you can insert a blank PNG into it, and that makes it completely invisible but still present. So you can move the objects as a unit, size them as a unit, but then the abstract is no longer present visibly. You did these boards yourself, Mateus? That's cool. I like it. I really like this map. Very interesting. Yep, you can use it, as just like a template and have like a palette of all the objects to pull from. Exactly. All right, let's get back to my map. Yeah, I love layering ivy or moss. One of my favorite things to do. Like the moss or the ivy on this is like probably one of my favorite parts of the build so far, is because it just makes it feel so much like older. And I'm going to be putting ivy on some of the tombstones and stuff like that, and a bit of moss too. Some of them will feel older in that regard, but like some of the plots are fancier than the others, so they'd be more maintained than, say, some of the medium or pauper plots. But yeah, if you mix and match the sizes, well, it's really hard to change some of these object sizes. But what you can do, if it's a wall-based ivy, it's kind of tricky. But you can, in fact, put, say, like a freestanding wall in place, right? Put some ivy on that. And because a freestanding wall can be resized, the ivy on it also resizes. It's kind of a weird trick, and if you try to scale it again, it'll ruin it. But now you have this massive piece of ivy you could add. This trick works with a lot of objects, actually. You can do it, say, with a torch, like a wall-mounted torch, right? There's, like these here. Let's turn collisions on so it'll snap. We'll disable collisions. Now you just have this super giant torch. Honestly, I live for these types of tricks, because, like, it's funny, because in the early stages of DA, this was, like, basically a lot of things like this were how you got stuff done. Our oldest community members will remember, like, resizing objects on a table or, like, a rug. Oh, excuse me. Oh, man. I'm not against it. I'm just trying to find the layout I like. Hey, no problem, Mateus. I really enjoyed it. Honestly, I love the use of all the custom assets you put in it. Really made it look like a semi-modern map, and that's like something that isn't done very often in Dungeon Alchemist. So I have appreciation for that whenever it's done. I'm thankful that you took a crack at it and that it turned out so well. It's not an eagle nest, so we're going to shrink it down a little bit. It's not Marahute's nest here. So, gotta dial it back about 5 scotias. But this is a workshop item. I'm going to point that out right now. That is shared by Sack, I believe. Mm. Burb. Mm. Mm-hmm. Trying to find... Not even sure what I'm looking for, really. Guess I could just do like a haystack up in here and shrink it way down. Some random nesting material, you know? Trying to think of other shiny things that could go there. Hmm. You know, I forgot to add one kind of like over here somewhere. I think I was going to put like a cart here somewhere and that was going to be on it. Leave it here right now. I don't forget about it. There we go. Okay, so let's get back to this area. I got a little distracted. Mud footprints coming out of here. Would we do something like that, you think, on the stonework? Kind of like that. Interesting. Turn them in towards this a little bit. Maybe kind of have a few of them overlapping. Oh, I know, right? But that's exactly the kind of minutia I'm trying to avoid doing right now, too. Like, just keep doing it. Okay, graves. Let's figure these last ones out. I'm thinking one little mausoleum here, because we did this in the corner, so we could do something like that again. Like a thin one. Drink it out. Tuck it in. Okay, looking good. Even maybe tuck a tree in behind that or something. A bit. Oh, it's too much. Looks reasonable. I was gonna put something over here too, I think like a statue. Oh yeah, the stamp tool's gonna be great. Can't wait for it to release. In fact, would y'all like to see just some of what the stamp tool can do? Okay, let me hurry and save. And then we'll go in and see what I can share. I have a couple images to show that kind of demonstrate this new tool. I showed these the other day, but for those that weren't here, you'll still kind of get the idea. So with the new stamp tool, you'll be able to like paint a texture over an area. And by that I mean essentially, in this case, adding decay to an area over, you know, a similar spread. So it's like very evenly spread across the various surfaces. Now this is a work in progress. Still quite a bit left to be done with it. But as you can see, it will add a lot of versatility to your maps and allow you to essentially stamp out patterns and you know, textures and stuff with relative ease, with a much more control than say a terrain brush or something like that. So imagine, I imagine you could probably even mix and match terrains that way. I'm not 100% certain if they'll allow custom stamps, kind of like with abstracts or whatever. I would love if we could make custom stamps and then share them on the workshop. That would be amazing. But at least for now, you know, you'll have a few stamps to work with and whatnot. When I looked at it from the side, it wasn't really sitting there well, so that helps. But right now, probably the only way to make the walls look wet would be using something like an abstract. And you apply an abstract over the wall, and it would look like a wet spot on the wall. Because we have these like vertical wall piece abstracts, right? So if you had this one, this is just a wall pane. It's a thin sheet of paper, basically. You could put a PNG in here that is just like a wall wet piece. Oh yeah, Slime Cube could do that, I bet. Put it over here in this building so it illustrates the point better. Hey. Kinda does it a little bit. Not perfect, but it's an option. Okay, let's see how. I'm gonna put a grave here. Put a knight's grave probably adjacent here on this side. Put a happy little grave here. We could do a raised grave. Yeah, let's double the raised graves here. I mean, the slime cube is a stock option right now in DA. There's one, just a stock one. There are some slime ones on the workshop, though, that can help. Abstracts, though, I want to kind of point out how versatile they can be really quickly, okay? So let's just look at this abstract panel, okay? I'm going to go to my abstracts, and I think I have one that kind of looks like water. So this was meant to be a blood splatter of like an alien blood, but if you had it drawn like, you know, dripping water, it would look like water. This is essentially just a PNG image of a splatter, a blood splatter that is blue. And then I put it on the side of this building. But yeah, a gray stain would probably be ideal. Let's make it black. That there looks more like, you know, symbiotes there, but you get the idea. You could do like a gray kind of simple stain and it would look great. Oops. But as you can see, that's paper thin. It's designed to be like a wall object. People use these to put like graffiti on the walls, different signs. Let's put, I didn't notice it says Mac backwards there. Ah, wow. Stock asset means it's built into Dungeon Alchemist. It doesn't require you downloading anything or importing anything. Damn! I also just like that it's... No, it's reversible. Yeah, there are creators in our community that'll tag their builds or hide things in it, like watermarks, to prove it was their map, because they'll hide little bits like this where people probably wouldn't notice it unless they looked around really carefully. Does that make sense? But using abstracts, you can do all... Here, let me show you this abstract. Okay, this is just a cube, right? Nope, it's a TNT. Like, that's the versatility of abstracts. Each one of these is just an image. That is fed into this blank slate. Here, let's put a magic circle here. No. You get the idea, though, right? Okay, cool. But if it were me in your shoes, this would be how I would make, like, wet spots or things on the wall, blood spots, anything. I mean, honestly, it's a very versatile tool. We used it one time on stream to determine that there was a bug with the like, object tool. Like, to test it for sure, I grabbed this template, which has, like, measurements on it, right? And as you could see, You can get this to roughly match like a square. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's the thought that counts here. And then you use this as kind of a template to see what's going on. We went to the object brush, and someone pointed out to me that the objects don't paint right away. They paint like after. So you could start here, right? I'm clicking left click now, and it doesn't start painting until about, 2.5 feet later. We pointed this out to Quentin, one of our devs, and he was like, oh yeah, there's a dead zone, right? And we were able to figure it out. He fixed it for us, and it's in the next update. There's a patch for it. So we were essentially able to talk to a dev on the stream and show them in real time because of this, and then kind of suss out the issue and fix it. Love it. But you could use that as like a measurement template for like spells or movement, or you know what I mean? Like all sorts of stuff like that too. Okay, let's get back to finishing this up. We are so close to finishing this out. Gotta keep working. Just keep working, work. I'm gonna do like a shared headstone for this couple. It's kind of a new thing because I haven't done it yet in the build. Also kind of doesn't make sense over here, but it's okay. Honestly, I don't mind getting distracted and offering tips and tricks and assistance. I never mind stopping what I'm doing to answer your questions and make sure you're getting, the assistance you need. A pet cemetery? Dang. That'd be crazy. Okay, another reason I'm thinking a statue is probably better over here, because lining this up to put a path over there is going to be a pain in the rear. Let's just put a statue. Put like this. Nope. Look, someone who looks like a scholar or a preacher or something. And then can do this guy. A pet cemetery for wizards familiars. Interesting and terrifying. Sounds like a great idea for a one-shot. Just throwing that out there. I mean, honestly, familiars are just doomed to die, especially if the DM has, it out for them. I mean, what? Familiars have 1 HP? They're gonna die. Man, at least an Artificer Homunculus, has HP, right? It could survive an attack or two, typically. This is coming along good. Let's see, probably one, maybe two more on this side, or like a statue or some plant life here. Then we'll have a few here, and I'm thinking like a something to this person in front of it, or some like bushes or shrubs, or something like these that we've been using. Offerings, yeah. Maybe a plate or something. Wish I could unsnap that so bad. Right? Makes zero sense logistically, but that's where we are. Let's do this one. Too many. I don't know. I haven't counted them all. There's a lot of graves, my friend. Too many graves. If we span the whole graveyard, I mean, there's probably 200 to 300 at least. We still have another 200 to 300 to go. Just over here, there's probably 50 more, or 50 plus. Plus, each columbarium is like a site. Nah, it's going to be considered no-no to mess with these graves in the culture here. Mainly because the grave sites are tended to by a cleric, a bunch of clerics and whatnot that serve a deity and also a caretaker. That being said, there is a little nefarious plot hook over here where someone's been trying to steal graves or something. I don't know. Or steal bodies. We'll see. Hey, you know what? I just noticed we had some follows in the last little bit, and I am so sorry for not noticing them as they happened. So my apologies. Um, the actual Space Police and Phoenix U, thank you so much for the follows on Twitch. Much appreciated. I think it has something to do with how people, care for and perceive their loved ones after death, probably. I think I'm going to make like a planter here in front of this, some sort of thing. Let me fit one more grave here. Indeed. There's some benches here. There's benches here and here. There is seating in the gazebo itself. There is seating over here. Also seating inside the chapel itself. Most of the grave sites, and then seating outside in front of the chapel. We've actually hit some seating all throughout these gardens. In this area, there is at least one seating area. Might put another one over here or something. Oh, Mondu, I'm not against it. I'm trying to explain to you why I think some people are against necromancers. That's all. little dead spot's bothering me. I'm trying to figure out what to put there. But for the most part, this area is done over here. Finally finished this whole section. Need to put some lighting, though. And, like, the finishing touches. Guess I could put a few of these torches here. It wouldn't hurt much. I was considering putting them at, like, these points, but we could also kind of centralize them along the path. And this is looking really good. Finally finished this section. Let's take a look at it at night. Very cool. I guess we put a few. What do y'all think? I really like this section. Looking really good. Excuse me. All right, I think it's time to take a quick break. Ugh. And then after the break, we will get back into building. I'm very excited that this is, like, for the most part, finalized here. I'd say now we're at least halfway, you know, or more done with the map. Like, if you look at it, it's quite an extensive amount of mapping done here. On an 82 by 82. This will be road, which will come over here. In fact, I think this is the next section I'm going to work on, is getting the road down this way, and then start working out this kind of section of cemetery, which will be the caretaker's cottage. So when all's said and done, yep, my caretaker is going to be over here somewhere. Not really 100% certain what I plan to do, but I'm thinking this back corner will be like a building of some sort of cottage, right? And then I'll attach like a little garden to the side over here. And then there'll be a big kind of like shed area with like tools and, you know, like essentially stuff to work all around the property. Piles of dirt, yeah, stuff like that. Looking really good though overall. Over here, this section, I'm thinking like almost most of this, like pretty much over here, will all be like pauper graves. So like really simple graves that are falling apart, haven't been maintained in a while. You know, very simple graves, mounds, cairns, you know, simple wooden crosses, stuff like that. Or broken, you know, gravestones. And then as we get over here, they'll get fancier again, and I was going to do terraces that are like raised up and flat with like walkways going up into them and paths that like divert off to different terraces. I see it in my head, but also it's going to be a work of art when it's done. It's going to be tricky to get it all right. I'm also deciding if there will be a continuation of this road to the back end, because we'll have a road going here, A road going here. Obviously, the main artery road going this way. I just don't see this as necessary going back this way. I don't know. We'll talk about it more in the future. But so far, I think this map is looking really solid. Let's go ahead and save, because I can't remember the last time I did. Save twice. And then I'm going to take a quick break. And when I get back from my break, we will get into continual mapping of the road here. I'll probably map out this road before we finish the stream. I mean, honestly, like, graveyards in general are probably iconic for that kind of stuff. But it's, I'm sure, generally frowned upon to go, you know, play hide and seek in graveyards. But I could see this being, you know, an event where the adventurers have to come and bury, you know, a friend or family member, heck, even a party member. But then it could lead to more intrigue because they discover other things, such as this secret passage going underneath the, you know, the church here, or this blood over here on this altar on the side. It's like, what is this about? Little things like that could be, you know, leaders to different aspects of the game. And I was also kind of planning on putting like a passage in here that in one version of it, it would have a stair going down, and another one it's like hidden. Dig a grave, find a hole. Oh, goodness. All right. So I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Sky Birdie, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. I think this is looking great, though. Road. I'm not like over the line too much. These are all roughly the same until about here. Started pushing in too much. Let's lighten it up. Get here to this edge, and then it can start fanning out into his property. Okay. It's hedge 1. You know, one thing I could do here is just a walkway instead of like a road, because I really don't want like roads going out the back, so it leaves like this open-ended area where there's like places to go. Nope. I did not take a break. Well, here's the thing. I looked at the clock, right? And I realized we're ending in 10 minutes. What's the point of a break for 5 minutes if we're ending in 10? So I'm just going to keep mapping until the end. I'm going to just map it out as much as I can until then. I'm going to just speed map. But if anything, I guess, you know, I got some work ethic. I really am bad about taking breaks. But on a 2-hour stream, most of the time my breaks are just to get up and stretch my legs and get my eyes away from the screen. Maybe refill my water. It's not the end of the world. It's not like a union break or like I'm doing an intense amount of, you know, physical labor at the moment. I guess, you know, gardening is pretty intense. So, let's see. We could put a cut there. That'll have a path, and then probably... How many squares are we here from this edge? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we can have a path coming out this way. And those are square and a half big. A little bit larger there. And then the next one is so far down, closer to the edge. Thank you for getting those link drops, schedule drops, all that stuff before we wrap up. Speaking of which, our next stream is going to be the next stream will be a office hours stream, actually. So for those of you who aren't aware, we have a stream every Wednesday in our Discord. It's Discord exclusive. All our other streams are multi-streams to all other platforms, i.e. Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Steam, etc. But every Wednesday we host a stream that's only in Discord. For some reason, Discord doesn't allow you to link up with the multi-streaming or anything like that. So we host it exclusively there for our viewers who watch us there. And it is a great place to get live support, you know, network and mingle with like-minded map makers and cartographers. You can also, ping the group and ask questions about your campaign, encounters, stat blocks, maps, etc. Additionally, we show off teasers, tips, tricks, and whatnot throughout that stream. But it's essentially just a little bit more laid back than traditional streams because we're all just kind of chilling out, hanging out, discussing upcoming Dungeon Alchemist stuff, upcoming tabletop gaming, etc. Alex on YouTube asks, how long have I been working on this map? That's a good question. So roughly about a half hour to an hour a week for about 2 months, a month and a half, 2 months. So every Monday is when I work on this, and only on Mondays is when I do it. And during that stream, though, the stream is AMA format, so anybody can ask me questions related to Dungeon Alchemist, and I'll drop what I'm doing and provide support in real time or answer their questions. So a lot of times we get distracted during the stream, and I don't work the whole time. It's roughly, the stream's about 2 hours, and I get about an hour, roughly a half hour, hour of work each stream. Hey, Shlomo, how you doing? Welcome back. Shoot, I let go of shift right as I tapped it. Glad to hear it, Shlomo. Glad to hear it. Really hard to kind of like keep that line by hand because I'm doing this all perpendicular to the grid. I made this map as a way to challenge myself. Notice how everything's off the grid at a weird angle, because I wanted it to feel a little different and kind of challenging in that regard. Okay, so we've got the hedge going this way. Let's get this road. To do this road, first off, I'm going to save before I do. Going to go into the terrain tool, terrain brushes, and I'm going to first pass over it with stone. I know this is like not necessarily the road I'm going to use, but some stones... I'll show you what I mean. There's 2 stone path options we have for terrain, right? If I start with this one, it has this leak through of the grass underneath it. And while it looks like pavers that were like hand laid and look really nice, the problem is, or like a cobblestone road, that green leaking up through it is really immersion breaking, at least in my mind. So I paint over it first with the other stone because it doesn't have cracks in it or leaks. So that's my kind of foundation of the stone road, my hand-drawn stone roads. And so I'll essentially go through and do this whole section all the way down to where I'm getting to the cottage. So much left to paint. Oh my gosh. I don't know why the brush is jumping so much. Like skips. Maybe the brush strength? Nope, has nothing to do with it. Yeah, I don't like it either. It drives me crazy, and I wish it would get better. Wim said at some point they plan to just, like, nuke the terrain brushes and make one new from scratch. Because apparently this one is like a a Unity module or plugin or something that they use to really bridge the gap quickly and offer something more rapidly than fine-tuned and precise. And at the time, at that point in early access, when they had limited, team members and funding and stuff, it seemed like the best plan. And I think they want to make a tool from scratch that's completely in-house. So we're not tied to something that is weird or outdated. That's part of the reason you can't get as many terrain brushes that you want, or all of them in each biome, because this tool is just kind of limited. So I go over it with brush A. Then I go over it with brush B. And notice how the stonework, it looks essentially like it's on top of more stone, and it just looks a lot more, I don't know, paved. Typically stone roads like this are done in layers. Okay. Now I just need to figure out where we cut out this other section here. But if you look at this now, we've got a huge road going over here. I don't know what kind, Moundu. Okay, sorry about that. Just reading. Yeah, that's kind of the point of the road here, is I really wanted there to be like navigable space all throughout it where, if there was carriages or funeral processions, they could move through this area very, very easily. The thing is this stone path is kind of part of the graveyard. It's their infrastructure, of course, and so I feel like it should be nice all the way through, and maintained. Let's see here. It's the way I look at it is there's probably several people who come in and help dig graves and maintain it, like they're on like a salary or something, but the caretaker is here all the time to kind of watch over it. He maybe does rounds at night, and he, helps set up plots and clean up graves and maintains the roads and all the plant life and stuff like that. So it's mainly his job to make sure the place looks beautiful, whereas there's likely people who come in and dig graves and do that kind of stuff. Does that make sense? All right. I think we're done for the day. Did quite a bit of work, though. Very productive day, if I have to say so. I mean, if you look at it, we got this entire road section done and all of the stuff around it. I'm thinking I just got to figure out where that cutout is from here. So from this one, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 15 diagonal squares. Yeah, we'll just do it like somewhere here because it's not all the way like perpendicular or like equal. But anyway, I'm thinking somewhere here we'll have a cutout. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah, I mean, as you see it right now, it's looking pretty solid, right? Coming along rather well. There's a lot of detail left to be done, but at least the graves here, we have a really solid plan for the next few weeks of builds. I think next week I'm going to focus on the caretaker's property, and then after that it's just going to be graves, detail. So the next 3 streams or so are pretty much all planned out. Typically, as we get closer to the end of the project, I ping the community, watching and ask them what they would like to see in our upcoming maps. But I usually we'll kind of talk as a group and discuss ideas and then pick a theme. There has been suggestions, coming up to this. Still time for challenge. What do you mean, Chim? The problem is it won't be as backwards compatible as we're thinking, I think. You won't be able to add, I don't think you'll be able to. You're talking about the Dam Challenge, Chim? So the Dam Challenge is a bi-weekly map-making contest that's our community participates in. Whereas I host the Dam Challenge. I don't participate in it. I'm basically the judge. And then I showcase the maps. But if you're looking to participate in the Dam Challenge, you have only a few days left to enter. In fact, I would encourage everyone to kind of buckle down if you're interested in participating. You have between now and end of day on the 10th, the Friday the 10th. So by midnight, end of day. So 11:59 on Friday in your time zone, your Dam Challenge map must be submitted to our Discord in the Dam Challenge channel. And pinned in that channel are rules that must be adhered to for your entry to qualify. So you make a map of any shape or size using Celebration as inspiration, and then you submit that map to the Dam Challenge channel in our Discord following the rules pinned at the top. If your map qualifies, it will be featured on the stream, but if you're the winning map, you're the first map featured on the stream, giving you roughly 20-30 minutes of FaceTime with the community. And you also get a $10 Hero Forge gift card, and your map is featured in our weekly newsletter, the Cartomancer Chronicles, which there'll be a new one releasing today. But the previous week here, this was the winner, Everfrost Harbor by Wilkie Twycross. Their map gets featured. Very cool. Ricky, that's a good question. I do know some creators were making animated fireworks, but I don't know if they were considering a skybox with animated fireworks. I know there's one with lightning, though, for sure. Well, Chim, if you're looking to participate, you're definitely getting down to the wire. You only have, about the next 5 days to participate. So the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th to get your entry in. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. I had a lot of fun hanging out with you during Mapmaker Monday. I feel like today was very productive. We got a lot done. We finished out this section of the of the graveyard, the I guess you could call it the martyrs, and the people who are the people who, the clerics, paladins, priests, etc., nuns who are in service of this deity and church. That section's all done now. Now it's time to expand into what I guess would you call the last third of the map here, roughly, or I guess half. We have the caretaker section over here, which will have a garden, a large kind of shed, lots of tools, dirt, different things going on. And then terraced graves that are fancy, and then, of course, pauper graves that are kind of simple and falling apart. Thank you, everyone, for being here and participating during this Mapmaker Monday stream. Again, my name is Mac, the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is a map-making utility available on Steam that allows you to build beautiful maps like what you see here. You can also generate entire environments and maps in just a few clicks using our proprietary procedural AI that we built entirely in-house and programmed 100% with our own custom objects. At no point was our AI trained using external data, maps, art, etc. So it's made entirely in-house, as ethically as it can be, designed to help you save time for your session prep and have more time to just enjoy gaming with your players. We'll be back on Wednesday with Office Hours, which is a stream exclusive to our Discord. So make sure, if you're interested in tuning in, you join our Discord and hop in the events and click interested so you get a reminder. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time. I give a damn. Mac out. Bye. We're going to run a quick Dungeon Alchemist theme ad, and then we're going to wrap up the stream. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
But can it handle curves?
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 Dungeon Alchemist, the AI-powered map-making application for role-playing games, now comes with both round and diagonal walls. Create amazing professional maps for your players in seconds. Get it now on the Steam store.
Thank you so much for being here, everyone. We'll see you on Wednesday with Office Hours or Saturday with the Damn Challenge stream. Bye.